Hi, welcome everybody. Today I have the pleasure of having Amber with me. Amber Swift, she is a women's health specialist, and over the years, she has developed special interest in traditional Chinese medicine and holistic health in supporting women, especially mom who have low energy and who is struggling with digestive issues. So I have the pleasure of introducing her and have her in my public wellness circle today. So, Amber, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I have been working with many women, and the typical woman who comes to me is the busy woman who has tried everything, but is still struggling with low energy, who is struggling with high anxiety, hormone imbalance, which will look like PMS, hot flashes, the headaches. And she's just tried it all and even add on top of that digestive struggles. And so I love helping her get to the root and figuring out the why, right? Why are you struggling with these things? Where did all of this begin? And then just beginning to slowly implement the changes. I run functional labs too, just to add that extra layer to really kind of dig in there. But I love working with these women. And it all really, honestly, it does start with we all have our own story. So I've been there. So I do understand what it's like to struggle, to try everything, and to feel extremely discouraged. Like, I guess this is just how I'm going to have to live. So thank you. I love doing what I do.
Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you. We love to have your resource. We love to have your information to be shared among the women in the group, especially those who are looking into improving their health or those who are struggling. So it will really mean a lot to women who are listening. So you mentioned about traditional Chinese medicine. So
Mhm,
that is something that I'm also interested in because
mhm,
I'm Chinese. So
mhm,
maybe you can talk and let us know a little bit more about that practice that
mhm.
you offer as well and how you deliver that in the online space.
Yes, definitely. I think about like the typical client who will come to me, and typically she is struggling with waking up in the middle of the night. We'll just use that as an example. And so I'll look at the typical time that she's waking up, and honestly, it's usually between 1 to 3. And so with my training in TCM, I know that that's when that gallbladder and liver is struggling. And so because of that, then I'll start looking at into okay, what are some ways that we can support her liver? Is she struggling? We'll look at the emotional component. And that's where I love that training because we forget about the emotions so much, but they really do affect our lives, our health, our organs. And so I know that the liver often is bitterness, anger, unresolved, and so I'll look at are there people in your life that maybe you're struggling with forgiving? Is there maybe even yourself? Is there something in your life where you're struggling with some bitterness and anger? And then just giving her simple foods to support her liver, giving her maybe a few herbs, like I love milk thistle to help support her liver, and then just even practical things like castor oil packs, or why don't we add lemon water in the morning? But that's the element of TCM that I love is that it's this aspect that we forget about in Western medicine. Like we just toss out our emotions, we toss out the seasons, we toss out, it's like we forget about all these other things. And so that's where I love TCM because I feel like it helps me to look and it helps me to teach my clients how to look at their whole life, not just this little part of it over here and, separate it. But yeah, that's the part I really love implementing.
Exactly. So what you have described is actually also part of my own practice too.
Mhm.
As I recover from postpartum and as a mom of two, yeah, looking into all the TCM aspect and looking into the sleep and wake cycle and
Yes.
your pattern is
Hmm.
also exactly what um, what I promote and what I really advocate for. Yeah,
Yes.
so thanks for reiterating that and really bring it up so people know the importance of this.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you also mentioned about essential oil and naturopathic practice. Can you
Mhm.
share a little bit more about that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I love essential oils. So I'm 48, but I've been using essential oils since I was 9. My mom, I don't know if you're familiar with the term crunchy. My mom was crunchy before it was even a thing, now it's everywhere. But I have used essential oils since I was 9 for everything and anything. And so my children were raised, because I have 5 of them, using essential oils. So they all every year ask for their own set. But then for my women, the clients that come to me that I work with, like there's one blend in particular that I love that's called Clary Calm. And it's a blend of different essential oils that helps women, that helps with your hormones. And so the women who I always end up calling them my women because my clients, but I'm so thankful to be able to walk through their transition with them that I celebrate their victories with them. But so, for instance, that blend, I'll just say, just once a day when you get out of the shower, roll it from hip to hip. So if they're struggling with hormone balance, we'll apply that from hip to hip every morning. If they're struggling with anxiety, I love a blend called Adaptive. It's amazing because these essential oils, the way they work is they don't just take over, they give your body what you need. And so your body absorbs exactly what it needs. So for instance, going back to the adaptive essential oil, I'll have my client diffuse it, or I'll have her rub it, not run it. We don't want to run that, but rub it like on her chest or on the back of her neck or over her wrists. If she's struggling with headaches, taking peppermint, right? Everybody's heard of peppermint, but we want to make sure it's a high quality so that it is like medicine. It's a natural medicine cabinet. So I'll have them rub peppermint across their forehead. I'll have them put a drop on the roof of their mouth. So it's just learning. Like we've been taught how to use a lot of over the counters. Instead, what is it that you have a tendency to use? Well, let's find an alternative. And so I'll do trying just one thing at a time, you know? And so, yeah, I love it because God made essential oils. Our body recognizes the information in the essential oil. And so our body absorbs it and it doesn't cause inflammation in our body. And so that is why I love using essential oils so much.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I personally also use essential oil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it really also help a lot in regulating our mood and
Mm-hmm.
lifting, and
Yes.
it's also energy lifting. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much for that. Um, yeah, so would you like to share a little bit about your like how like your practice is do you follow a specific can you share like if you follow a specific method or pattern,
Mm-hmm.
like how do you integrate everything or and how do you identify people's why and root cause that they have mentioned that you have mentioned?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the typical woman will come to me and we'll do a health consultation first to see if we can work well together because I don't want to try to do something that I'm not even equipped to do. So we always start with a health consultation. And then I do run functional labs because we want to look at the gut level, because if there's any type of gut infection, beginning to work on bringing the gut into balance. And at the same time, we also begin to look into her past, her present and her past, like what's going on today, but also what has happened in the past. Because oftentimes somebody will say, until I was 35, I was fine. And then all of a sudden these symptoms started happening. Well, I always look at, well, what was happening in the 2 years? I always look at that 2 year circumference around that. What was going on? And so we do that. And then we dive into nutrition, finding out what works for her because I always tell them one man's food is another man's poison. What works for your best friend might be like poison for you. So we begin developing a nutritional habit, so to speak, of what will work best for her. And then we also look at her lifestyle. If you are this woman who's saying yes to everybody and everything, and you're not sleeping and you're not exercising, and say you don't eat until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, well, let's bring your body out of fight or flight. Let's figure out what is really your best yes. It's not going to be yes to everything, right? And then let's start moving towards the 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So it really is, I walk my clients for at least 3 months. Just really, I walk along the changes and transitions with them, tweaking as we go, because maybe this is a good way to eat for whatever it is you're dealing with, but maybe it's not good for you. And so, in those 3 months of really walking them through that, they begin to develop like almost like their health plan for them so that they can thrive. One of my clients, I actually was just talking to her about a month ago, and she said, Amber, you need to tell people that you set me up for life. And that's really my goal, is I want to teach women how to take care of their health for their life, not just for these 3 months and then you go back, but like so that you can truly thrive in your life. And so that's kind of a brief overview of what I do.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Yes, that is very, very important. That is also same as my practice. So that is kind of
Mhm.
setting people up for the foundation so then they can
Yes.
continue to flourish. And oftentimes people are missing that piece. And I see people like whether in clinic or in practice or in my coaching practice. So a lot of people they are missing that information, that they're missing that
Yeah.
foundation of knowledge
Mhm.
that they need to find for themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, that really makes coaching important for women's
Yes.
health. People don't understand
Mm-mm.
why I need to meet online and talk about their health. And so as a physical therapist, I know I have seen it. People rely on passive. People, which is great. Like people want to be touched, people want to be careful, which is important. But they are also missing out very important piece of their health is
Yes.
the awareness. So that
Mm-hmm.
makes this online health coaching powerful.
It
And that
is.
is also the reason why I have created the Women's Health and Wellness Circle to invite um, wellness practitioner, wellness lover like you, Amber, to share your knowledge and share your experience and make this a collaborative hub for
Yes.
women who are seeking this support. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so Amber, would you like to leave your information here if for anybody if they need to reach out, like if they need support that you offer, would you like to share a little bit more about your information and how they can reach you?
Definitely. Yes. So there's several ways. They can go to my website, which is amberswift.com, not Taylor Swift, but Amber Swift,
Right.
amberswift.com. And I have a free symptom quiz that helps you quickly get to the root of your low energy, your high anxiety, your hormone imbalance, or digestive struggles. And it comes with a video that I create that is their personal results. So that is one way because we've seen just so many amazing changes through that. And so amberswift.com. On Facebook, I'm Amber Swift. Instagram, I'm at Renewed Health with Amber, but I also have a podcast called Everyday Health for the Christian Woman. So find me on all the different platforms. Come say hi.
Thank you so much for all this information. Yes, definitely. We will be featuring this in the Women's Health and Wellness Circle, and I'd love to connect further. I'd love to hop on your podcast and love to share and work together. Thank
Yes,
you
thank you.
again,
Thank
Amber.
you so much, Henny.
Thank you for watching.